full time tonight at St James's Park. Newcastle United 2, AFC Bournemouth 2. Now, I thought we'd do something a little bit different today in this match reaction. I think it'd be best actually to get someone from the opposite team. Let's get someone on the other side, our point of view as well. And I feel like if you guys disagree with my opinions, for example, you might agree with Sam's here. So, Sam, introduce yourself, introduce your channel, let the people know who you are.
Yeah, Sam Davis from Back of the Net, the AFC Bournemouth fan channel. Vlogs coming out later on. It's going to be a good one, but I did miss the Dom Solanke opener. So, bad news, but I'm happy with the draw today.
I mean, to brag, I missed it, so I really slipped me off. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to start things off first. I just want to address something briefly in the match before we have a chat about Sam now. Newcastle, of course, in around the 85th minute or so, losing 2-1. I've seen this quite a lot this season, but I couldn't believe the amount of Newcastle fans that are getting off their seats and are just walking out of the ground now. This has happened to AC Milan, the Champions League. This has happened to Luton Town. It has happened to Nottingham Forest. It's happened every time Newcastle with a negative result. Now, I think a night-time game's understandable. You need to get the last ball so you've got something going on. I understand that some fans always have to leave the ground for something, but 3 p.m. kick-off, there's no excuses at all there. I couldn't believe the amount of people that were leaving because Newcastle, in the 10 minutes added time, we know it was going to be long anyway due to the VAR call, got that second goal, Matt Ritchie. They needed the fans to get behind that 12 man, and there were just thousands out of the stadium. It pissed me off, I'm going to be honest, guys. And now, again, it doesn't go out to the people that had to leave for certain reasons. I understand that. Whoever wants to go to the pub, want to just go home earlier, I don't get it. You know what? I'm at that stage now where if you guys aren't going to stick it by it, just give your ticket to someone else. You do it. I'm sick of saying it, but my little rant over there. But we'll start things off, Sam, with the actual full-time results. So 2-2 in the end. I'll give you my thoughts in just this moment, but I could imagine you would have felt like that was 2 points dropped in the game.
I thought that Bournemouth on the whole, I mean, especially the first half, I thought as chances go, I thought we had the better chances. Dom Solanke was probably wasteful at times. I think, I was down on the concourse, as I say, but I mean, even in the second half, you look at it, a VAR decision that, I'm going to have to look back on the vlog that we've recorded. I'd probably get a bit touchy about it, thinking, how is this? How have Bournemouth been shafted by VAR once again? But, it seems to be that there's a shirt tug. 50% of the times those are given, 50% those aren't, and unfortunately we have suffered with a decision that's going against us this time round. After 89 minutes or whatever it was, I'm thinking, right, let's hold on here, and then Matt Ritchie, former player, turns up and then nets. At one point I thought it was an own goal, but I watched it back in the replay, and it was quite clear that he scored it because we've got such a long view from where we are. I think we're weirdly happy, but at the same time, I think based on the balance of play, I thought we should have probably come away with something. I know that Newcastle's form has been pretty ropey of sorts. I mean, that 4-4, absorbing as it was for the neutral. I mean, for a Newcastle fan, you're looking at that thinking, you've got to be Luton. I saw an article in the Chronicle that said it would be unacceptable for Newcastle not to win against Bournemouth, and it's happened again. And there seems to be an inability for Eddie Howe to beat Bournemouth in the Premier League. Of course, you've done it in the Carabao Cup. But I don't know. I thought we probably did deserve 3 points today. But on the balance of play, you come away to Newcastle. If you get a point, you're more than happy. So a lot of us are very disappointed, but at the end of it, I think we're okay with it. I think so anyway.
Right, well, I think a couple of stats to tell you straight away. So going into this game, so Newcastle have obviously just played. We played Bournemouth now. We've played Nottingham Forest and played Luton Town across the last 4 home games. We've picked up just 2 points. We dropped 7 points to teams that, to be brutally honest, you've got to look at all 9 against Bournemouth as well since Eddie Howe's came in. 4 times we played in the Premier League, haven't won a single one. And I love how, obviously I know Bournemouth fans love how, but I think his game management again today, I just didn't agree with it now. For Bournemouth's second goal, Dan Burn's always been someone that's been quite a questionable player at times for Newcastle. He's someone that has made mistakes against Luton Town. He's someone that we've seen against Nottingham Forest last week. There's a moment in the game where Langer's just ran past him like he's not even there. Eddie Howe, the second Dan Burn made a mistake today. He's allowed the winger to create some space on his side. He just blasts it all the way in the bottom corner. Eddie Howe just subs him straight away for team 11 man. I don't get it. Why are we making this sub after Dan Burns made a mistake? Like, you either don't start the guy and play the team 11 man, or you make subs earlier. You're waiting 60-65 minutes to make subs, and it's not even just subs as well. It feels like it's almost premeditated. It feels like he's, you know what, I've got these subs here. Yeah. These subs are going to come on at this point in the game. It doesn't feel like it's happened because of what's happened in the game. That's always something that ticks me off a bit. Now, obviously Newcastle had some limitations in the game. We didn't have a striker, for example, but we had a striker against Nottingham Forest. We had a striker against Luton Town. We still didn't pick up the points there. So this Bournemouth result today, now, this one-off result doesn't matter too much, but it's the fact that you haven't picked up points in quite a few games now. So the result's not a fluke result. It's happened because Newcastle were just incapable of being able to beat, in all fairness, a superior team Newcastle have. But you know what, I'm going to be honest, I said it to you before off camera, I thought Bournemouth today were actually the better team. I thought they deserved to win the game. I felt like with the chances they had, especially Solanke. I mean, Solanke alone had 4 or 5 key chances in the game. The only one he scored is the one with Martin DeBruyne. I slipped and quite literally gave him the goal. The actual chances, 2 in the first half, would have been game changer. They took one, went in 1-0 half time. I think it was the second one in particular where the balls came across to him. DeBruyne saved it, then Newcastle cleared the rebound. How are Bournemouth not scoring? They've got so much space now. I just wanted to focus just in the first half. I know you touched on it before. But I thought Bournemouth had the better chances. Newcastle had more chances, but I thought Bournemouth, the way they were playing, they were quite tactical now. I'll be somewhat critical. I think, especially defensively, we made quite a few fouls and they were making sure Newcastle weren't getting through. I don't know what you thought about the referee. I thought he was atrocious.
Well, you know what? This is one of the games where I think both sets of fans are coming away from this thinking he was absolutely awful. It felt like to us, we couldn't see what the time was, but it felt like he blew the final whistle too early. It felt like there were a lot of niggly fouls in that, and from a Bournemouth perspective, it felt like most of them were going Newcastle's way. But you know, look, we're looking at it from so far away. We can't really judge how clean cut these fouls are. But I've got to say about Dan Burn, we played Antoine Semenyo on that right hand side, and we thought we could get in here because he's not the quickest. Antoine Semenyo's got a bit of pace, he's got a rawness about him, and then he put Dango Ouattara on that side later on, so we always knew that we could have a go and get at you. But it was a funny one. Both sets of fans are coming away from this weirdly feeling disappointed with how it's gone. And look, I mean, I feel for Newcastle fans. I think Eddie Howe, I've said this before, he built a rod for his own back last season, because Newcastle United should weirdly have not got in the Champions League. Of course, you completely deserved it, and I'm glad, as we love Eddie Howe, so we were so pleased that he proved himself as a manager. But we knew that, okay, so that is where the bar of expectations has been set. You've now made it very difficult for yourself for seasons beyond that. And look, you've had so many injuries, it's been so difficult. Your 2 main strikers, you're both out today. You've had injuries, galore all season. And you know what, I think a successful season now would be like the Conference League or something like that. If you get that, or maybe you can push into Europa. If you can, that would be great. I just worry that the board might not have that much patience with him. I really hope they do, because he is, he's a quality gaffer. Have you seen? He can make your average players or players that weren't performing under previous managers, he can make them into superstars. So I really hope you keep really do hope you keep the faith with him. But look, I'm happy with the points there. I really am.
There's an interesting point about the board now. I'm not sure what you guys think. I'm always a bit of a flip-flop when it comes towards whether I think the board are back Eddie Howe. Now, you're always going to say yes in the sense that this is obviously a manager that's done wonders with the time he's had so far. He's always looking to do more. But at the same time, there's always a lot of things that I think with the actual game management, where I think you imagine that, especially for the PAF, ownership at once said as soon as they came in 5 years, we want to win the Premier League, want to do this, want to do that. The expectations, I think, for anyone's unrealistic, especially for someone that is obviously brand new to getting the Champions League this season. He's never experienced it before.
It's worth mentioning to say that when Eddie Howe took his sabbatical after leaving the Bournemouth job, he took a couple of years out. He went and he studied loads of different managers. Andoni Iraola was one of them, and he learnt from him about how he, his in-game management, his tactics, his training, all sorts. So the 2 managers are quite close. So it was always going to be like a game of chess today. And for us, it feels like we have come out on top. For Eddie Howe, it probably does feel like a loss. But I've got to say that in-game substitutions was always towards the end of Eddie at Cherries. It was always one of these things that we thought he's making the wrong decisions here, and hopefully that's not. I don't. I certainly hope it's not the end of him in Newcastle United. Look, he's a quality manager, but I just feel for Newcastle at the moment because it just there seems to be no rhythm within the side at the moment. And, look at the home form; it's not overly great. I mean, away from home, fine, but some things need to change on the pitch for sure.
Right, well, going into the second half now before we wrap things up. Now, obviously, Bournemouth took the lead. Dubravka's just slipped completely on the grass. Solanke's scored off. He's celebrating like the guy who won the World Cup. He milked it a little bit, but no, fair enough for him. Obviously, he's scored a goal. I felt like at that stage in the game, I thought Newcastle started to come in with a little bit more. I thought Newcastle probably were controlling the play. And if anyone was going to score, you probably would have backed Newcastle at that point. Yeah. So I think they conceded that moment definitely started to go against us. But the big turning point in the game was that I thought at that point, after we conceded, we looked woeful. We looked like not getting in the game at all. We struggled to even get the ball in the centre. We had no focal point up front, no main man. It was just ping it out away, just see what happens. There was nothing to it. The pens completely changed the game. Obviously, I know you spoke about it before and said that he didn't believe it was, but I had a chance to obviously watching the VAR screen now. At first, he checked for a penalty, then they checked for an offside, and then they checked for a foul. It was 3 different checks, and then the referees went over to the monitor now. The problem I feel like with VAR is that the fact that until the referees went to the monitor, it just took around 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So before the referees actually seen what's happening, I feel like there's pressure on the officials to actually make sure there is a penalty. Otherwise, for the fans, they're just going to just absolutely give you one for it. And I think the players are the same, especially after waiting that long. So even before he's watched it, he's probably already thinking, this is going to be a pen no matter what. I think it's harsh. If I was a Bournemouth fan, I wouldn't be happy because I've watched it. Now, it's gave it for a shirt pull, but I think it's quite subjective really because it was a shirt pull outside the box and there was a bit more of a clinch inside the box. So the referees pretty much went, I guess the harder pull inside the box is what I'm going to give for a pen, but you could argue it's subjective because of obviously the fouls first initially took place outside the box. So it depends how you look at it. I think it's harsh. I can't give a definitive answer whether I think it's a pen or not. I think it's a harsh call. So in a Bournemouth perspective, obviously I'd be fuming because I think there's not really anything in it. I just wanted to ask you your thoughts, I guess, a little bit more in detail about that. Obviously, what were your initial thoughts when you first saw all the VAR shenanigans going on?
It's so difficult. From our perspective, it's very difficult to see what's going on, but you just know that when the referee's called over to the screen, 9 times out of 10, he's going to change his mind and it is going to be altered, the decision's going to be altered. And it wasn't a surprise to many people that he made that square symbol to show that it's going to be a penalty. But look, we've had this before. Last season, we had what Bournemouth fans would say a questionable handball from Jefferson Lerma that resulted in Alexander Isak convert a penalty and equalising. So it wasn't something we're not used to, put it that way. So thankfully we learned from that lesson though, and we managed to score again, which was something we didn't manage to do last time. And Bournemouth fans had hope at that point.
Yeah, no. Obviously went 2-1 up after that. Burn made a hole, but I felt like at that stage in the game again, it felt like it was going Newcastle's way. It just came out of nothing. I couldn't believe the space the winger got. Good finish by him, to be fair, but the Newcastle point of view, I was kicking myself over that goal. I felt like we gave you one there. I couldn't believe Dan Burn giving that space again. It just baffles me. So Eddie Howe decided to bring Tino on. You wouldn't think it, but towards the end of the game, we ran out of options getting towards the 90 minute. You hear 10 on the board. Even then, I'm still thinking, this game's over, we're not doing anything here. He's bringing Joe White on. I think that's his first ever Premier League game. I'm pretty sure it was at Gates earlier in the season, so the non-league club he was at. You bring Matt Ritchie on, a guy that's in his mid-30s now. I think he's so slow when I watch him play. And the state of Newcastle's second goal, the ball was came in. I think Ritchie's tried to head it across, the defenders blocked it. It nearly went to his own goal. The goalkeeper, as I just say, but it bounced back out. The Ritchie just taps it. I mean, what a horrible way.
And you know what? It's not the last time that Matt Ritchie's netted the final goal in the 2-2 against Newcastle. It's the same thing happened at Dean Court. So there's history of that. But it would have to be Matt Ritchie. But fair play to him for taking his chance. But at that point of the game, we're just gutted.
Of course, I agree with that. But I guess I'm sorry for milking it a little bit there. It's the only thing I can milk an active performance like that from Newcastle. But now, listen, I respect Bournemouth a lot. Beat us fair and square at their ground. And today I thought they were a better team again. Honestly, but Newcastle were poor. I thought we were lucky to get a point. I'm standing here now talking to you, and it feels like a point game. Like it feels like we just drew against like a Man City or something. Like honestly, it feels like we drew a match that we shouldn't have drawn. So I kind of feel positive, even though it was shocking for us. But we dropped 2 points because again we should be beating Bournemouth on paper with all due respect. But now that's just my thoughts in the game. I thought I'll have a chat with an opposition fan and hear your perspective on things. I think Bournemouth will comfortably stay up. We don't need me to kiss the arse and tell you, you know, you're going to stay up. Especially the teams in the league this season. People like Solanke, that's where you'll be fighting like a good player. So yeah, sure I'll see you next season.
Yeah, we will do. We will do. Looking
I'm
forward to it.
hoping we'll beat you this time. But
Yeah,
sick.
you never know. The
Sick of
Eddie Howe
making these
factor,
Bournemouth vlogs and these match reactions and never beat you guys. So hopefully it changes next year. But long trip back tomorrow. Obviously well done coming up, and you deserve it today, even though obviously you could have got more. But
thank you very much. And by the way, this guy puts in a shift. See you on social media. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you don't, I don't know what you're doing. Subscribe to
I
it.
appreciate it, Sam. Obviously Sam's channel description will be down below, so make sure you go check him out. Sam lad, you know, he's lovely. He speaks the truth as well, and we'll see him next season down at Bournemouth. So take care, guys. Appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, Sam, and we'll see you on the next one, guys.